Who else is tired about people complaining that this store is charging above MSRP? Like this whole MSRP talk, I'm so tired of just hearing people complain about it because it really means nothing. And when you see people's arguments about MSRP, it's so easy to argue against it and it just means nothing. But still, people like to complain about it because it's in their favor to say that MSRP is cheaper than market price. So I'm going to use this suggested price as a thing to make it seem like this person's evil for charging more than it. And I want to just go over this post, talk about it, and just give my thoughts about what this person's saying. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know down in the comments after watching this what you believe. Do you think this person is right? Do you think this person's wrong? Let me know down in the comments after watching this video. So let's just see what this person has to complain about. Now, I guess before, you can already see here by this picture, they're selling this booster box above MSRP, right? They're selling at $230. Remember, guys, I told you I'm willing to buy Destined Rivals at low 200s. And this is in the low 200s. Now, I haven't actually checked to see if this is still available, but if I can pre-order this and I can get it shipped to my, to my house, I would pre-order. So I'm going to check after making this video because I haven't checked yet. If it's still available, I'm going to pre-order some. If not, then it is what it is. But anyways, going on to the post, let's talk about it. So here's the title. My LCS just announced that their Destined Rivals pre-order was live, priced at 50% markup over MSRP. Is this normal? Question mark, question mark. Recently, they have sold Stellar and Surging booster bundles for $50, that's a 100% markup. This hobby is in a sad state, and check out their response to the guy asking why so expensive. So I find there to be some conflicting things going on here. So this person is saying, is this normal? Like they're new to the space, right? If they're saying, is this normal? But then they go on to say that this hobby is in a sad state. So if you know this hobby is in a sad state because prices are higher than they used to be, why are you asking if this is normal? It seems like you know it's not normal or whatever, but honestly, I guess normal in this whole, way they're putting it, it is kind of normal because I think 99% of, stores are not charging MSRP or below for Destined Rivals. Like I can, that's obviously just a random statistic, a random percentage I just gave you, but most stores are not charging MSRP. I think we can all agree more stores are charging above MSRP than at MSRP or below. So let's just look at the pictures, and I wanted to get my opinions on this because I can just, argue against every single point people have when they complain about over MSRP. It's so easy to because the argument for MSRP is so stupid. So first here, let's just look at the price. So like I said, it's at $229 or $230. You can only buy 2 per order, and they actually have the website here. So like I said, by the time this goes up, I don't know if they're still available. If they are, you guys can buy. I don't know if they're reputable or not, but if I can buy it, I'm willing to put it up, whatever, and I'll just be able to get 2 for $230, which honestly for me, I'm perfectly happy paying that price at $230. I don't think it's that risky buying at that price point. But yeah, anyways, going on to the next picture. So here it looks like a Facebook post, and this is where I really want to dive in and give my takes on this whole conversation. Why so expensive? And here is the response of the store. Now, I don't even know what the point of blurring out the store name is. I guess they want to try to be, respectful. I guess this was maybe taken from a different person, not the poster of this subreddit thing. But this is the store's response. Due to the value of current Pokemon cards, the sealed products have risen in price. In other words, Pokemon cards are more valuable now. We will sell out almost immediately, unfortunately. So that's the reasoning for why it's so expensive. So let's see what this other person, it's not the same person, let's see what this person has to say. No, the resale price of sealed product has risen. What is exactly the resale price? Are you talking about the market price? Because guess what? The market price has always been this resale price. What else would market price be, right? But obviously this person, it's like everybody in the space now that wants to complain about prices. Scalper, using evil, all these words, reseller, all these things to make it seem like this crazy evil thing. Market price, resale price, it's the same thing, but obviously they want to use resale price. Why? Because it has more of a connotation to it. It sounds more evil. So saying your resale price makes this, store, whatever they're selling at or whatever the market price, it makes it sound worse than it really is, right? That's what a lot of these people do, to be honest. And it's kind of hilarious how they try to, obviously frame things to make them seem super evil and everything like that. It's funny. So let's just keep reading. And the MSRP on every Scarlet and Violet era booster box has been and still is $161.64. Now, I want to talk about this because this argument is so bad about MSRP. It's been this, they shouldn't charge above it. I'm going to give you guys an example. So, I don't know anything about this person, right? Obviously, I don't know their name. I don't know anything, right? But I'm going to make some assumptions here, but I think they're reasonable assumptions. So, let's say this person was into Pokemon in the beginning of Scarlet and Violet era. Honestly, there's so many people that left from Sword and Shield. I don't know if this person was there or not, but let's just pretend they were into Pokemon beginning of Scarlet and Violet, right? So the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, what were the prices of booster boxes? Can anyone tell me? $80, $90, right? What was MSRP in the beginning? It was still $161.64, right? But stores, were they charging MSRP? Most of them were not, right? Most of them were charging either market or a little bit above it, right? So you're telling me this person right here that's saying, oh yeah, MSRP, it's always been this, so this is what, we want to pay, right? You're telling me this person, when those booster boxes, a year ago, let's say you were there, right? You were into Pokemon. Let's say market price was $80, $90 for a booster box. If you walked into your local card store, right? You're telling me if they charged MSRP, because that's what's fair, right? That's what's fair. You're telling me you would have bought that booster box. Go to your LCS. When MSRP is $161, but market price is $90. I'm giving it a 99% chance you are not paying that price. Why? Because it's above market. And why does that matter? Because people say market price now is a scalper price, it's a resale price. But that's what really matters. But people use MSRP when it's in their favor. But when MSRP is higher than market price, they'll say that, store is overpriced and they're overcharging because market price is $80, $90. Why are they charging MSRP? It's $161. You see how this argument doesn't work? It's the dumbest thing ever. And people still say MSRP, it matters so much. It's suggested. And the reason why these prices are suggested is because by law, you can't, Pokemon can't force, these stores to charge this exact price. That's why it's suggested, right? They're just suggesting it. So anyways, enough of that. You get the point. Using market price and all these things, it's stupid, right? So let's just move on. Even when even TCG player market price on Destined Rivals booster box pre-order is $159. Now this is a lie, and it goes to show this person already, they're pretty not credible, and I wouldn't even take any information from this person. When were Destined Rivals booster boxes pre-ordering for $159? Tell me when. When was the market price $159? I can't remember. I don't even think Journey Together was ever at $159. So I don't know where they got this number from. I think they just pulled it out from somewhere random out of the hole, out of wherever. Because when was it $159? And if it was $159, why didn't you buy it there? It's this person obviously is lying about it because it didn't happen. But anyways, okay, this person, I guess they're quoting them. They're gonna rebuttal whatever. We will sell out almost immediately, in quotations. So you're trying to justify selling MSRP product at 50% markup, which is at or above scalper/resale market price. Now, this is the funny one. You see here they use resale price to kind of, talk about market price. But here they do actually say market price, but in front of it they say scalper/resale market price just to make it sound even more evil. You see how this whole person, it's hilarious. Like, why couldn't they just say market price? They had to say scalper resale market price just to make it sound a lot worse, right? By saying it's okay because people will buy it anyways. So here's my take on this conversation in the response of the store. Hot take, maybe. I totally agree with this store. Why? Because people don't understand supply and demand. Have you guys ever seen a supply and demand chart? As, price goes up, supply goes up, demand goes down. When products, right, are of, especially high demand, you have to charge at least market price. As it seems now, it's higher than what some people want to pay to sort of control the amount of demand. Because if you have market price or whatever being so high all the way up here, right, and then you have, your MSRP way down here comparative to market price, that thing will sell out instantaneously. As a store, right? Why would you do that? Obviously, for good, you know, PR, for good relationships with customers and to be a hero. Sell at MSRP to be for the community, yeah, it's a good thing. But if you sell all your product at MSRP on release day, it's instantly selling out. And then what do you do after? Let's say that customer that, applauded you, everything for selling at MSRP, right? On release day, but you sell out of everything. Let's say they come in a few days later. They're like, hey, you have any Destined rivals? And you're like, no, we sold out. They're like, oh, okay. You see how it's bad? Yeah, you'll have this day of euphoria. I got an MSRP. I'm so happy. And then you can't come back to that store because they sold out instantaneously. So by charging market price, when it's higher than what some people want to pay and what people complain about, it regulates demand. And people don't understand this about, just basic economics. Like seriously, if stores across the country of all LCSs charge MSRP, but market price was like $300, you know how fast all these stores would sell out? It would make, honestly, the problem, in my opinion, even worse because everyone would be buying every single product. People would be hoarding it. People would be reselling. People will be opening everything. Supply would be a disaster, in my opinion. So I agree with the store saying that, or explaining why they are doing it. It makes sense. But a lot of these people don't understand the basic economics of why people do this. In a lot of these stores, you got to take this also into account. A lot of these stores also aren't getting as much as they used to, and that's a fact. So, just everyone complaining about stores selling above MSRP. Guys, you're going to complain up to about 99% of the LCSs in the United States or in whatever country because almost no one's doing it because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like I said, it's good for the community, for PR, good for your branding. But in terms of making money, regulating demand, having product in stores, if you sell at MSRP, it's not that smart, really. But long term, some businesses do it because they hope customers, when this market does cool down, they'll still support them. But we'll see if that happens, right? But it's crazy that people just keep using MSRP as this word like it really means something when it means absolutely nothing. Now let's go to the current market price and see what booster boxes are going for right now for Destined Rivals. So you can see lowest listed still 275. As we can see, there's not that many listings. If there's no more listings, I guess in the next few days, these will probably go back up to 300 plus. But these have been for the last few days at 275 because stores have listed. And look at the drastic difference of sales volume when this was at 320 versus when this was at 275. Look at the difference. So many more people are willing to pay for this Destined Rivals booster box at 275 than when it was at 320. Look at that. Now imagine if people listed at MSRP. What we would see on this. I bet you everything would sell out in one day. But you can see how much of a difference that makes. That's how much people really see this product being valued, right? And like I said, this being at 275 right now, and this store selling at 230, I want to buy this. I want to buy it low 200s. This is what I'm willing to pay. So I just think this whole thing is so dumb with people, and this is obviously from the Pokemon TCG subreddit. I mean, how else could it not be? It wouldn't most likely be from the investing one, right? But people just complain about MSRP and these stores charging above it when it means nothing. So let's just, read a few comments and just end this video. What's the point of LCS if they sell the same price as secondary market trends? I'd rather sit on my bleep and order from eBay than make my way down to an LCS. Whoa. Okay. Let's just think about this. Like my point was before, you're telling me this is like the same weird, I guess, ideologies people have. You're telling me that when the market was bad, right, that this person would be willing to pay MSRP at a store if market price was lower. Because they're saying, why would I just pay what market is? So you're telling me when the market was bad and boxes were $90, you're going to walk in your LCS and happily pay $161? No, you're not. Come on, right? I'd rather sit on my bleep and order from eBay. You know what? That's what a lot of people are doing. When prices of booster boxes were $80, you could buy them on eBay all these places online, $80, but your LCS are selling for maybe 110, 120, which is still under MSRP. You're telling me a lot of these people were going to LCS paying that price, or they could just order online and save money and get it directly shipped to them. Like, people are just lying because now it just is. It makes them look good, right? It makes them, I don't know. It just makes people just like to use this whole MSRP argument and talk about how all these stores, they should only be charging this much because they shouldn't be charging what market is. Like, I don't know, it's the stupidest thing ever. These people, I don't know what their argument is, but it's so easy to argue against it because it just makes no sense. My LCS has done everything at MSRP, just don't buy from them. So very surprising, most stores are not doing that. 220 won't even be close to the worst that you'll see it. Not saying it's fair, but distributors are 100% cutting allocations for the set and upcharging after initial wave. Source worked at largest LCS in one of the largest states, so it's reasonable to assume that most shops aren't willing to sell at MSRP. If they sold at MSRP and enforced a limit like 1 or 2 boxes, they would still sell it instantly, and a majority of it would find its way to the secondary market as people just aren't going to resell. Sell MSRP, cut the wrapper, just like Japan, and problem solved. Oh my gosh. You can see where these people are coming from. Haven't, people already kind of debunked and talked about how cutting the wrapper would just exacerbate the problem? Like, people do not understand, right? My LCS is 365. See, this is what I'm saying. This is actually pretty fair in my opinion. You consider market price, this is like $50 under market price. Like, that's pretty good. LCS forced to raise prices due to thinking of a bigger number. Don't support them. Okay. Ready to be downvoted. MSRP suggested retail price. So this person is basically, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm pretty sure they're basically what I'm saying. I can understand if it costs more for them, but they'll not buy the high prices. Okay, whatever. Screenshot from TCG Player. I don't know where you found 161 listing, but that's not market price in TCG Player. That's what I'm saying. Where did they get 60 or whatever from TCG Player? So, yeah, I mean, if you go to this chart, like, where was 159 or whatever they said? Where was that at? They obviously just lied. So I think that's enough of this, post. I think it was pretty entertaining to see these people's views and their thought processes when none of it, honestly, in my opinion, really makes any sense. So if you watch all the way to the end of this video, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with this person, or do you think they're wrong? Do you think their argument's dumb? Do you think their argument is smart? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.